Let's have a quick conversation about all the nightmares and the crazy stories we've heard about buying real estate in Mexico. You know, buying real estate in Mexico sounds like an amazing opportunity. You get told these stories of amazing return on your investment, great equity gains, until you hear these nightmare stories of people not even getting their properties delivered to them and having issues with title security, no title insurance, having liens on the properties, having to find out afterwards, the developer's not ever getting a condo regime. And there's a couple of developers out there that are really big names that have had that situation where they haven't been able to give closing deeds and titles to their customers. This video isn't just about negativity. I'm not trying to scare you out of buying into Mexico. I'm trying to be real with you, telling you that I know that these things have happened, but it's not all doom and terribleness in Tulum and in Riviera Maya and Playa del Carmen and Cancun. You know, if you look at how many developments have successfully been delivered over the past 20 years, there's been thousands. You have a small percentage, that 1%, which happens as well in Miami, which happens as well in Toronto, it happens as well in Los Angeles, happens as well in Vancouver, happens all over the world where you have developers that overextend themselves and they can't finish their product. It's not just an isolated problem that it only happens in Mexico. There was an article that came out probably like 3 or 4 months ago in Bloomberg about how you shouldn't buy in Tulum. Everybody was promised things that never were delivered. You're an idiot, because the fact that you believed some random real estate agent that doesn't have a license telling you you're gonna make 23% return on your investment on a studio, I don't know who's more dumb. You are the real estate agent trying to sell that kind of product. And then in the end, you feel disillusioned or you feel lied to. Well, yeah, you were lied to, but you also believed it. I mean, you have to be some type of an astute investor and do a little bit of homework before you jump in with 2 feet in an investment that sounds too good to be true. This is not a new philosophy, too good to be true. We've heard that before. It's happened for eons. When something is too good to be true, something is fishy, something is wrong. But instead of blaming yourself for making a bad investment, you blame an industry and you say it's terrible, you shouldn't invest in Mexico, it's all a scam. And that's not true, absolutely not true. My family has been here for 30 years selling real estate. All of our customers are happy. All of our customers have bought more with us because we vet the developers, we vet the investment, we show you where we're buying, where we have bought, and where we're going to be buying in the future. I'm not here to bash you. I'm not here to tell you you did terrible. I'm saying you can't just believe some random person on the internet. Some random person on the internet, that's me, right? But there's a little credibility in the words that I'm saying because I'm not here trying to sell you anything. I'm here to present to you an opportunity to understand the legalities, understand why some developers make it and why some developers don't. And there's different forms of developers down here. It's a big business, okay? It's inexpensive to build here. Cost of materials is also inexpensive to build here as well. These developers come in here with only 15, 20% of that investment, and they're gonna try to get the rest of it by pre-construction sales. Try to pay for the development and the development as it goes with the sales that are coming in. Well, that's a very flawed system and a very risky system. It is a very, very lucrative business down here for both the investor and the developer. But not all developers are created equally under the eyes of God. You have to make sure that what developer is building where the land is at, what the zoning is at, are there any liens on it? All this stuff has huge ramifications of whether you're gonna have a successful product or not. Most of the time, this stuff is not going to be an issue. But that 1% that is an issue causes more waves in the ocean for us than anything else. Here at Muller Properties, we have worked with several developers for 15, 20, 30 years. Second generation developers here in the Riviera Maya that have delivered nonstop consistently. One of those developers that we work with is called Grupo Emerita. These guys have been around for a minute. You know, they've been around for 12, 13 years. The first generation, before it was called Grupo Emerita, their parents, so to speak, were part of the core group that founded and developed Aldea Zama. You fast forward to their children create a company called Emerita. And Grupo Emerita has built several developments, several land developments, several condominiums, several residential areas. But I'm talking about residential areas, not just a condo where you build. No, they build an entire neighborhood with services, with a convention center, with a community center, with a gym, with the kids center. I mean, really successful developments, amazing projects. They look for legal certainty of whoever they work with. They don't just have any random real estate agent selling properties for them. They have to be a licensed real estate agent. They have to work for an agency. The reason why they do this, why they're so strict on this, is they need to make sure that they adhere to their quality control that they present themselves to always have, which is everything's legal, everything's documented. They have legal ownership of the land that they build on. They have their own money to build with, but also whomever is selling it for them isn't making false promises and creating a corrupt system that's already corrupt enough in the Riviera Maya. A lot of the land they've had it for generations. So they pass this cost savings on to the next person who's buying, which is the investor. And I'm gonna give you an example of what they've done. There's a development called Valenia. And when Valenia came out, they were priced at about 900,000 pesos. That's about 45,000 US dollars. That 45,000 US dollars was the price that they started at. The last few lots that they have in Valenia have sold for 1.8 million pesos. So literally, whomever bought in the beginning now has double their money back. And they have several products like that they're launching here in the Riviera Maya, which I love to promote and love to sell. We have projects in Valladolid, we have projects in Tulum, we have projects in Playa del Carmen through Grupo Emerita. All three destinations, all three locations, and they're all strategic and they all make sense. One of those projects that's here in Playa del Carmen, it's called Tierra Madre. And Tierra Madre is an amazing residential neighborhood. They're doing the same thing again. They just never stop surprising me with the attention to detail and the amazing developments that they put together. You've got an amazing community center there, great pool, gym, kids center. I mean, it's an amazing project. And they're very, very accessible. The pricing structure right now is not ridiculously millions and millions of dollars. You're getting access to all this development at a fraction of the cost. Now you can buy a big lot and it's gonna cost you, let's say $100,000, but $100,000, it's still very, very, very inexpensive to get your foot in the door here in the Riviera Maya. But if you wanna get even less, or you wanna get more cost effective, well, they've got properties in Tulum, deeded, titled, secure, guaranteed development that's gonna be finished through Grupo Emerita, starting at like $35,000, $40,000. And then you've got other projects in Valladolid, which is a new project that they're developing out there. They're starting around $45,000, $50,000 as well. What makes this company interesting is the fact that they're not gonna ask you for all the money up front. These guys want 15% down of 50 grand. And they'll give you 5 years, 0 interest payments to pay it off. These guys have been around for a long time. They've done it the right way. They're secure, they're safe. You're gonna get what you paid for, and you're not gonna end up sitting on a piece of land that never gets built. These guys have their own money. They have their own bridge loans with the banks. The banks are all in line trying to give them money, and they choose who they work with. So if you're looking for legal security, legal guarantees, well, this is your sign, man. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Mexico is not a big, giant ball of chaos. It's growing, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting stronger. So you either get on the boat, or you're gonna miss the ship, and it's gonna sail off into the distance. You're gonna wish you could, and you woulda, coulda, shoulda, but you didn't. So come back to Mexico, come back to us. If you like everything you've seen, I appreciate any kind of positive or negative reinforcement or comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.